Hi, everyone, and welcome to the second in our streamcasts on policy and politics. We're going to be talking today about key players in Oregon, similar to some of the issues that we've been reading about in the cross text. I'm going to start first by taking a look at the structure and the structural changes that took place in Oregon. This chart shows basically what used to be in Oregon, a fairly straightforward division of power between the House and Senate Education Committees, the Ways and Means Committee in the middle to determine the costs of a particular bill, power being distributed at the agency level through two boards, the State Board of Education and the State Board of Higher Education. And under each of those boards, responsibility for the K-12 system, the community college system, and the university system. It's really straightforward. That all changed in 2011 with a variety of changes. The House Committee on Higher Education, Innovation, and Workforce Development was created. The Office of the Governor became the Superintendent of Public Instruction. The Oregon Education Investment Board was created. The Chief Education Officer, appointed by the Governor, was created, a brand new position. And the playing field was leveled, looking across the bottom, a pathway from birth through higher education of education services, beginning with the Early Learning Council, the State Board of Education, the new Higher Education Coordinating Commission, which will take over management of higher education as of July 1st, and the Youth Development Council. So you have a variety of elected officials in that framework who share power and authority. The governor, of course, was elected to 4 terms, 95 to 2003, and then most recently reelected in 2011 up until February 18th when he resigned from office. Kate Brown, who had been in the House since 1991, then elected to the Senate in 96, Secretary of State in 2008, and in that role as Secretary of State, it fell to her to become the governor through constitutional succession due to the resignation of Governor Kitzhaber. Notably, Lindsay Capps, who used to be a leader for the Oregon Education Association and then the Chief of Staff for OEIB, was appointed as Kate Brown's education policy advisor. On the education committees on the House side, you see in red the number of key players, Margaret Daugherty being the chair. Vice Chair is Lou Frederick from Portland, who's been very active this term in both issues around student assessment as well as in student privacy and data privacy. Tobias Reed from Beaverton is the chair of the House Committee on Higher Education. Notably, Gene Wisnett from Sun River, the leading Republican member of that committee, and Jennifer Williamson, formerly of Portland State, a strong Democratic presence on that committee. The Senate Education Committee, I want to point out Arnie Roebland from Coos Bay is a member also of the Joint Ways and Means Education Committee, which you can see down in the lower right. So having a person on both as the chair of the Senate Education Committee and as a member of the Ways and Means Committee for Education makes that a very key role. Sarah Gelser is a strong advocate for students with disabilities. We see on the right-hand side key players on the Joint Ways and Means Committee for Education, Betty Comp from Woodburn, a former middle school principal, and Rod Monroe from Portland, who's a former teacher at Tigard High School and David Douglas board member. So there's strong school representation on these committees. The Speaker of the House, of course, is Tina Kotek. Tobias Reed from Beaverton is the Speaker Pro Tem, and Peter Courtney is the longstanding President of the Senate from Salem. Democrats currently are the majority party and held these leadership positions. Republican leadership is Mike McLean, the House Republican leader. He's got support from Sherry Springer and Jody Hack. Ted Frioli on the Senate side is a longstanding member of the Republican Party on the Senate side, very influential very strong advocate for the Republican Party in the Senate. On the House side, leadership falls to Val Hoyle from Eugene, and in the Senate Democratic side, Diane Rosenbaum is the majority leader. What's important about these two charts, if you take a look at them, is to see the representation from the Valley, Portland Metro, Salem, Beaverton, and Eugene. Of course, the majority party currently is the Democratic Party, and there's a strong representation from the Valley on these committees. Policy-making bodies themselves, one, of course, the main one is the Oregon Education Investment Board. You can see the members of this board. It's an interesting mix of both business interest and school interest. What is encouraging here is the large number of people of color who were appointed to the Oregon Education Investment Board. The organizational chart that we're looking at here, OEIB staff, really wanted to point out that the OEIB, from the staff perspective, is a very lean organization. There are really only 5 key professional positions, and then Nancy Golden is the Chief Education Officer. So the idea that OEIB would be, for example, running things or managing the school district, the school districts, really very limited in terms of their staffing and their role being primarily policy development and policy analysis. The State Board of the State Board of Education manages still the K-12 system. The deputy superintendent position is now appointed by the governor. Rob Saxton, as you know, resigned effective July 1st to take the superintendency of the Northwest Regional Education Service District, and no replacement for him has been named as yet. The Higher Education Coordinating Commission is another it's new and a very powerful organization appointed by the governor. You can see the members there. The members in green are members that are non-voting members, essentially faculty members from the higher education campuses. Again, there's an interesting mix. We do see corporate interests here, but also faculty interests and some representation from minority communities. The Early Learning Council has a strong representation by communities of color, which was very encouraging to see. Kali Thorne Ladd, Harriet Adair from Portland Public Schools, Vicki Bishop, Charles McGee. So we're seeing that these boards are reflecting more of a diverse voice than what we had seen in education policy circles previously. There are also a variety of advocacy groups that impact education. Here are some. The Oregon Education Association, representing, of course, the teachers throughout the system, one of the largest lobbying groups active in politics in Salem, very influential organization. They frequently work with the Confederation of Oregon School Administrators, or COSA, and the Oregon School Boards Association. Those 3 organizations frequently work together, finding bills that they want to focus on collectively. The Oregon Association of Education Service Districts, or OAESD, the Oregon PTA, you can see these just reading down the list. The Chalkboard Project, Stand for Children, and Save Our Schools are 3 of the organizations that represent parent interests very aggressively, and then a variety of business organizations that are key players in education advocacy at the state level. So as we think about this, ask you to think first, who is impacted by your problem of practice? So who represents the voices of those people? And do we consider different perspectives on the problem of practice? The reality is that politics and the political process, our organizations are actually trying to influence decisions in ways that benefit themselves. That's what the nature of some of those key players are. That's why they're there. So when you think about your problem of practice, who benefits and who might perceive something as a loss? So a key element is being able to see your problem from different perspectives and to understand where different organizations or where key players might be coming from. And there is an art to bringing different points of view together within a political climate. You can't just simply bend somebody to your will. It's much more effective usually to find different points of view within your problem. Can you think of an approach that represents a way of establishing some common ground and working with different groups? These are the kinds of questions we'd like you to think about when you think about who the key players in your problem of practice might be. So I hope you find this helpful. And look forward to an opportunity to talk with you more about it in class and to read the material that you prepare. Thanks very much.